Hello everyone, welcome to Ansarkari. Let's continue dealing with the questions of ratio. Now this question says two numbers are in the ratio 3 is to 5. If each number is increased by 10, the ratio becomes 5 is to 7. The numbers are. So basically this is exactly same like the previous questions that we practiced. Just the differences of the magnitude or the numericals that are given here. So if we write it in the normal form, for example, 3x, if we suppose 3x to be our first number and 5x to be our second number, they say if each number is increased by, so increased basically means addition. So both the numbers are increased by 10. So 10 obviously numeric value. Now they say the ratio becomes 5 is to 7. Here we can also write y in the variable, but we cancel here, so it doesn't matter. Then they say the numbers are. So as we did in the previous questions, we can simply make cross multiply करना है, but to make the process quicker, what we can do is we can write it simply like 3 raised to 5. Then this we have here 10 as the gap, or perhaps the as both these numbers are increased by 10. So we can write 10 here in this particular form. This हमने एज वाले क्वेश्चन में देखा था. And then we can write the next ratio in the form of 5 is to 7. So to make the process quicker, we can just write here this implies first. अगर हम इस equation से compare करें, for example यहाँ आ जाओ क्या होगा 21x and this will be 70 and this will be equal to 25x plus 50, right? So later on what happens is if this gets here, what it becomes minus 25x, and if plus 70 goes to the right hand side, it becomes minus 70. तो अगर हम इस चीज पे कंसंट्रेट करें, what happens here is if we multiply 3 and 7, so if we write the product of 3 and 7 first in the positive value, right? X we can put ourselves only, and then if we multiply these two numbers present here, so it will be 25, and here we put the negative sign, so we put minus here, so minus 25x, the product of these two numbers, right? And then we can simply equate them to the product of, first we can write 5 multiplied by this. Okay, so again now here since we took 7 as the product of 7 and 3, अगर हम इसको main focus मान के चले तो 7 और 3 का product is positive and 5 and 5 product is negative. So on the right hand side we have to do vice versa. So now what will happen is the product of 7 and 10. Now we need to multiply both these numbers by this particular given number here. So now what happens is the product of 7 and 10 will be negative. So it will be minus 70, and the product of 5 and 10 will be positive. So it will be plus 50. This is just to compare so that it becomes easier to understand कि हम इसे क्यों कर रहे हैं. This is just simple equation, right? पूरा solve करना पड़ेगा इसमें bracket वगैरह. This is the quicker method if we just learn to do it once. So this becomes minus 4x minus क्यों, because numeric values जो है वो 25 की ज़्यादा बढ़ी है 21 से, अगर हम सिर्फ न्यूमेरिक पे फोकस करें बिना साइन के. तो दिस बिकम्स इक्वल टू minus 20. Here also 70 is greater than 50 इस वजह से. And हमने इनका डिफरेंस इसलिए लिया है बिकॉज प्लस माइनस इज सब्ट्रैक्शन. प्लस माइनस डिनोट सब्ट्रैक्शन. एंड अगर साइन सेम होता है, मान लो माइनस माइनस प्लस प्लस, then this means both these cases mean addition, right? So this here becomes x is equal to minus 20 divided by minus 4, then the signs get cancelled, so it will be 5. So x की value is equal to 5, right? And since we know कि original numbers ये थे, which means that we multiplied 3 by x and 5 by x. So these are the two original numbers. So original numbers will be 5 multiplied by 3, which becomes 15, and 5 multiplied by 5, which becomes 25. And these are the two original numbers that we have here. So A will be the correct answer for this particular question. तो basically इसमें ये short trick समझाने का main वो था कि this method is a bit quicker as compared to if we directly try to solve it. Another way can be if we try to solve by options. देखो अगर हम इसी में ऐड कर दें directly, अगर हमें apply करें तो वो तो और भी quicker है in fact. So if we add 10 to these two numbers, so it will be 25 and then this will be 35. Then they're asking the ratio becomes this 5 is to 7. अब पहले रेशियो 3:5 है, तो फर्स्ट वील चेक कि इन सब ऑप्शंस का 3:5 रेशियो है या नहीं. If it is, then we'll add 10 and then we'll check if the resultant ratio is 5:7. For example, if 5 से cancel हो रहा है, so it will be 5 5s and then 7s, which means that this is the correct option. If we try to solve for this option, see, Firstly, 3:5 के ratio में है ही नहीं, because it is given two numbers are in this particular ratio. These two numbers are not in the ratio of 3:5, because यहाँ पे we need to divide 30 by 10 to get 3, and here it should have been 50. तब ये होते 3:5 के ratio में. So this तो option already goes wrong. This is the way we can do quicker by the options. Now this question says when x is added to each term of 7:13, the ratio becomes this. The value of x is. तो basically अगर ऐसी इस ratio में हमारे पास दो terms हैं, and when we add x to both these terms, the ratio becomes 2:3. Then they're asking that x की जो value है वो हमें पता लगानी है. So if we write here 7:13, then they're saying x is added. तो added हम नीचे denote कर सकते हैं, right? Then 2:3 is the resultant ratio जो हमारे पास बन के आ रहा है. तो अगर हम प्रीवियस वे से मेथड से ट्राई करें जो हमने अभी डिस्कस करा, फर्स्ट इफ वी डू द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ 7 and 3, so it will be 21. फिर यहाँ पे we're not writing x, we can write z here just for the sake. Again then we have 13 and then 2, so we can write the product as, so we'll write minus here because this product at plus, so we'll write this, and this will be equal to 26z. Z we're writing just by ourselves because यहाँ पे number की बात हो रही है, हमें तो सिर्फ ratio दिया हुआ है, right? And then now if we have the product of like 2x and then we have 3x that is present here. So we have minus 3x and then we have plus 2x, which gives us minus 5z, which will be equal to minus x. This implies that x will be equal to 5z, because minus यहाँ आ जाएगा तो it will get cancelled, तो यानी कि it will be equal to 5. If we try to understand this particular question, this is a bit different question. So if we try to understand this question by the normal method, then you would have written here, suppose this is the number 7z, right? And x is added to this, then each term of the 13z, the second term is हम x add कर रहे हैं, then it will be equal to 2:3, तो 2/3 हम यहाँ पे लिख देते हैं. Then if we multiply again, we get 21z plus 3x, which will be equal to 26z plus 2x. Again, if we solve this, we'll get this particular same thing. बस इसमें हमने इसको इस form में लिखा है, right? Which means that x can be 5 or it can also be a multiple of 5. Right? If we put a value of z, तो वो accordingly होएगा जो भी होएगा. अगर यहाँ पे 1 हो सिर्फ, then तो आंसर 5 ही होएगा. अगर हम z की जगह 2 लिख दे, for example, if the terms are 14 and 26, अगर ये terms है हमारे पास, then the case would have been कि x की जो value जाती है वो 10 हो जाती है, because z here is equal to 2. So it depends. So answer for this particular question will be equal to C. Then next question, if we focus upon, find the number which when subtracted from, यानी कि जिसमें से हम subtract कर रहे हैं, the terms of the ratio, यानी कि in terms में से हम एक number को subtract कर रहे हैं, तो उस number को पता लगाओ which when subtracted from, जिसको जब हम subtract करें इन दो numbers में से, ये तो ratio दिया हुआ है, तो इन दो ratio के किन्हीं numbers में से which makes it equal to the ratio of this. तो जब हम subtract करेंगे इस number को इन दोनों ratio के number से, then it will give us the ratio 2:3. So first if we try to do this by options, what happens is, तो क्या होता है, we have two numbers 12 and 17. If we imagine these to be the numbers, then what happens is, if we subtract 2 from these numbers, so it will be 10 and it will be 15, right? ये दो numbers, इनका ratio अभी तो फिलहाल ratio दे रखा है. Now these if we cancel, the ratio will come out to be equal to 2:3, जो कि हमें चाहिए, तो ऑप्शन इसका ऑटोमेटिकली हो जाता है. अनदर वे is कि हम डायरेक्टली ऐसे पूरा फाइंड आउट करें, right? 2:3. But here the cases of subtraction, तो again साइन वगैरह का फिर इशू होगा इसमें. The answer for this particular question will be equal to part A, that is 2. Thank you.